Hello, welcome to episode 73 of the Focus on Gaming podcast. I'm Duncan and I'm joined by Tom.
Good evening.
Hello. And today we're going to be chatting about the Game Awards and the latest indie game and also a VR game that is not very handy, I think is a proof of it.
Oh, I'm certainly not.
But yeah, so there was the big Game Awards. Well, they say it's a Game Awards, but I think what they do is they go, right, here's a load of awards and here's some trailers for the next 3 hours of what's coming out next year. So we're going to talk about 2025 in the New Year episode. So we won't talk about the trailers in this one, although the big one was The Witcher 4. The Witcher 4 cinematic trailer was revealed. But what would you say is the big winner? The person who won, or the game that won the most, or the game that won the Game of the Year?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because it's such a small game that won. Obviously, we're talking about Astrobot.
Yep. So Astrobot won Game of the Year. It also won Game Direction. Probably something else. I think Action Adventure Game. Yeah, Action Adventure Game and Best Family Game. So it won a few. But then Metaphor, Refantazio. But yeah, Astrobot. Have you played? I haven't played it obviously because I haven't got a PS5.
I have played it. It's no longer going to be a PlayStation exclusive after this version. Yeah, it's
well, the developers, they said, I think soon after it came out, they said that they weren't ruling out a PC version.
Yeah.
Obviously, to get the full effect, you would need a dual sense controller, wouldn't you? Because you need all the haptic trigger things.
And I can't remember if this one works in PlayStation VR or not. I can't remember. The first
No, they said definitely not.
No.
Definitely not. This
it
version.
was, or is, really good. I mean, so much fun.
It's a rare game on PlayStation that I've gone, that makes me want a PlayStation. Because I do, although I prefer the 2D Marios, and I've always moaned a bit about them. I do like your things like Super Lucky's Tale, your Crash Bandicoots, your Spyros, your things like that. If they're done well, they are fantastic. And this just looks... It's in the vein of... what's it called? Little Big Planet.
Yeah, completely.
But
better looking.
Better looking and a little more focused with the controls. Little Big Planet was always a little bit floppy, wasn't it? Because it was a physics-based game.
I never really enjoyed that game.
There were so many fantastic community-made levels. I mean, people would make whole story-based game. I remember having it on the Vita, and you could pretty much, there was a level that took about 25 minutes to complete, and it took you through the whole story of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. But yeah, the base game, yeah. But anyway, Astrobot, fantastic. Apparently, it's got some pretty difficult levels in it as well. So, some that are quite tricky. Not Dark Souls kind of tricky, but it might take you a few times to get it.
I was very shocked that Baldur's Gate 3 was the winner of best community game, best community support game. When Fortnite was down to number 3 on that one, that surprised me. Same with best ongoing game. Fortnite was number 4.
I mean, at the end of the day, what you got to look at, the way I look at that is that it's very easy to throw money at something. No, don't get me wrong. They do a great job in Fortnite to do what the fans want. But at the end of the day, it's epic.
Still haven't got Mickey Mouse though. I want Mickey Mouse.
Have they got a Disney?
They got a link in with Disney, yeah. So I'm waiting for the Disney characters.
Well, I know they paid a lot of money, didn't they, to Epic? I think recently had a big
best fighting game, Tekken 8.
Yeah, I think that was a given, really. Street Fighter 6 was that this year?
Yeah, that wasn't very good.
Yeah, and that was not not received as well as Tekken 8.
Well, because you're kind of walking around in a city in Street Fighter, and you're picking fights.
That's only one mode. I think you can just do
there are
arcade.
other modes, but it's very hard to pick out the modes, and I think it didn't really speak to people because all the other Street Fighter games are really accessible, whereas this one wasn't.
And let's face it, Tekken as well has always been a 3D game, and Street Fighter has always struggled to be 3D. I think, and although it's still not technically, it's still a 2D game side by side. I think it adds another layer of animation and all that.
It worked with Street Fighter 5, but for some reason it didn't work with Street Fighter 6.
I have to look up whether it's different developers or not.
Mm.
But so now the game that I am playing that was also a big winner, not the big winner, because it won Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, and Best RPG, was Metaphor Refantazio.
Mm.
Now, I've tried to play a few of the Persona games because it's by Atlas who make the Persona games. And I've never got on with them. I don't know whether it's the school setting or it's just the too Japanesey kind of tone to it. But I've never got on with. I've never been able to get into them. But this one, it's super weird though. In some places, they have these giant enemies that are called humans. But these aren't people. They are weird monsters that have, might have a guinea pig growing out of a watermelon kind of thing with big sharp teeth and tentacles. That's not an example of one. That's just me coming up with some random words and putting them together. But it's that they're that crazy. You'd have to see some of them to believe them.
Yeah.
And it's, I think, similar to the Persona games. It has a time limit on what you have to do. You have a certain time to do a certain amount of missions that increase different things.
Yeah.
So you have to try and make it so that you are, say your character basically becomes a king. It's not that convoluted. Basically, there was a prince and a king. The king was murdered. Everybody thought the prince was dead, but he was secretly being kept alive, but he had a curse on him. You've got to kill this one guy who's tried to take over the kingdom, and then a magic king face on a rock comes into the sky.
As you do.
as you do, and you have to try and either become king or make somebody else the king by being popular. So I don't know whether that sounds simple or not, but they portray it very well, and it looks pretty. The battles are turn-based mostly. You can, if what's good though is in the non-battle world, when you're not in a battle, you can, if you're much stronger than something, just walk up to it, bash it, and it's gone. So it means that when you're a higher level, you don't have to worry about going through the whole animation of going into a battle and do it. You can just walk up, boom, gives you XP, and you walk on. But it's good, and I think I've done about 30 hours, and I don't think I'm anywhere near. I barely scratched the surface of it. Although, what's coming up in a minute, Indiana Jones has sort of pretty much. I haven't played it for about the last week at least. Some other game award winners of note. Did you actually play Senua's Saga?
Only a couple of times. It's absolutely incredible looking.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, with the audio design, which I don't know if you played it with a headset on, is absolutely amazing. If you wear a headset, and because obviously it's about psychosis, and so she hears voices, and literally there'll be voices sort of just dotting around your head, and you're like, oh, it's creepy. It's but very well designed, and that's what the audio designed. Also, the actress who plays Senua also won the best performance, which I believe she won for the first one as well, or she won. I think she might have even won the BAFTA Game Awards.
I think you're right, actually.
Actor.
Yeah.
So yeah. So again, yeah, well deserved. Yeah, then, like you said, community support for Baldur's Gate 3. Balatro, there's got Best Indie Game and Best Debut Indie Game and Best Mobile Game because it's just recently been released on iOS and Android. Now, I have played Balatro. I don't know if you have. I literally just played it for about 10 minutes, though. So I'm no expert.
That good, yeah.
Well, I played it with a friend, and I'm just like, it's not. I don't think it's me. Again, but it's one of these ones where I think if you like it, you will be addicted. But sometimes these games just aren't for you. And it's one of these games where you can play it for 20 hours or you can play it for 1,000 hours. And I don't play any game for 1,000 hours. I think even Hitman that I've played a lot, I don't think I'm anywhere near 1,000 hours. Although, have you done anything like the PS5, PlayStation Unwrapped, or the Xbox Wrapped, or whatever they're called?
As in, watch them.
Well, you have you have your end of year stats.
Oh yes. Sorry, yeah.
I had my Xbox one.
I done the PlayStation one. I mean,
well, the Xbox One has all there's similar stats to the PlayStation One. You know, what game you played the most, or how many hours, and all this kind of thing. But it also tells you how many hours you've played Xbox in total.
Go on.
Well, in my life, hang on, I do believe. Hang on, I'll just double check because I did write it down somewhere. But I do believe I have. 109 days of my life I have played Xbox.
Amazing.
Just
mine was nowhere near that, and I've got 2 teenagers playing the same system.
Well, that's lifetime on Xbox, but that only counts from when Xbox Live was around, and only the times I've been online. So all the times I had it unplugged or rather those possibly updated, but yeah, and so that doesn't include all my PC gaming time, all my pre-Xbox 360 gaming time, all my mobile gaming time, all my Steam Deck. Oh, blimey! It's quite scary that 46 years of my life, and if I've had 109 days just on Xbox, so Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series, then there's probably at least a year of my life has been gaming.
I don't know whether to congratulate you or commiserate you. So,
well, yeah, that's the thing. That's oh god, that's a bit scary, really, isn't it? Although I think just this year I've played 197 different games on Xbox.
Wow.
I've probably played just as many on PC. If not more, actually, probably with Steam Deck.
Mine is definitely nowhere near that.
But I saw somebody on Gaming Dads who had played for, I think there was something like 1,100 hours, and it had games played 4.
Is he single?
No, the thing is that I mean, I see that as it's not a bad thing. Yeah, it's fine if you're only playing something like COD or FIFA or Madden or Destiny 2. Yeah, you're going to do that. But my goodness, that many, you must really know the game inside out if you're playing. Because also, the guy's probably played 3 games just to try them. So it's probably one game for 970 hours, and then all the rest are just, I'll just try them.
I can't help thinking someone that plays that much has to be single.
Well, it's in Gaming Dad, so he could be single, but he is a parent. So, but there was quite a lot with. I think there was one with 2,500 hours.
God.
Mm-hmm. Hang on, I'll just quickly do a calculator with that. Calculator. So 2000. I think it was something like 2004. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. So that's hours. So divide that by. Oh, it's 24. So it's 100 days. I'm gonna guess that he might have left his PS5 on.
Yeah, maybe.
And probably uses it as a media thing.
Yeah,
but
I've never used mine as a media outlet. Actually, I need to think about that. I don't think too hard.
I mean, well, I have my living room TV is rubbish. So the smart things on it are just not very good, fast. You'll get stuttering and the like. So yeah, I don't really use that. I like to use the Xbox because it's snappy and I can go big tap and something plays, no problem. It can do 4K, no problem. Although there are a couple of apps that apparently don't do 4K on the Xbox media.
Netflix probably being one of them.
No, it was. Oh, what was it? It was. Was it Apple? No, it wasn't Apple TV. I don't know. It was one of the major ones. But yeah, I found that a bit weird that they would literally limit it. But I can't remember offhand which one it was. Anyway, so Game Awards.
VR.
VR, yes. Completely expected, I think. The one that you've bigged up.
Yeah, Batman. Great game. I mean, it's almost comparable to the console versions. Yeah.
Oh, so is it a similar game to the Batman Arkham Asylum and all that kind of thing? Like
graphically and that, yeah, I'd say it really does get up there. I mean, it's pretty fantastic, really. So
is it? What's the controls like for doing the fighting and whatnot? So is it button presses or is it just
there are some button presses, but mostly it's select the weapon and hit out.
You're just wailing on them.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of technique to what you're doing, so it's not as simple as see how you hit. But I
mean, Arkham Asylum had a sort of rhythm to it that you had to sort of press in time to attack, and then you had to tap to attack somebody who was attacking you. Yeah. So there was a bit of a rhythm and a strategy to it.
But really, really good game, and I think that it is currently, I think, the top game on MetaQuest, but that's going to change.
Now, have you played? I don't suppose because yours isn't a Steam VR, or you haven't got a powerful PC. You haven't played Half-Life Alyx? Because no. I think that's generally. I mean, I haven't played it either, but generally that's the standard that people have to live up to. So I think if it can live up to that kind of standard, that'd be good. I mean, Half-Life Alyx, I'd love to play that because apparently it's very quite detailed, but it's something that the Quest 2 or the Quest 3 would never in a million years be able to natively play. But you can, I presume, play it via Steam Link.
I mean,
plugged into PC.
In SideQuest App Store, there is a version of that game. It's a hacked version, and that plays out outstandingly. So, I can only imagine what the real one plays like.
Yeah, I mean, it's got things out there. There are various games out there where you have to sort of click out the gun magazine and pick up a new one and plop that in. And Half-Life 2 and Alyx, they pioneered the sort of interacting with the world because you had the gravity gun in Half-Life 2, and when that came out, it was like physics-based stuff was amazing, and I think that when they added that to Half-Life Alyx, so I'm glad that something like Batman Arkham has come out that is doing well, because it did seem to be that all the big ones were not that great.
Well, Resident Evil wasn't too bad. But it was quite a shock going from most games costing you £10 to suddenly having to spend £35. So,
and it's not. You can sideload, but there's no there's no. You have to sideload other game stores and everything, so it's not like you've got a comparable.
No,
You haven't got competition.
no.
If you want a game without sideloading, you buy from the Quest store.
Yeah, essentially. But now it's becoming more of a thing, and obviously with more AAA games coming out.
One last little thing. Best adaptation, Fallout. Have you watched Fallout yet?
Yeah, I didn't stick with it, but it was very good.
I thought it was really good. I'm very much looking forward to Series 2.
Yeah.
I thought it captured the feeling of the vaults and the games very well. I think
it did. Yeah, I was quite impressed.
Especially the graphical violence in the vault battle that happened. That was hilarious, and just all that blood and guts and people's being shot and chopped into bits. All to music was very good fun.
Yeah, I don't really know why I didn't stick with it, but I think it was just generally because there was so much on at the time. So
yeah.
My
I've still got to watch The Last of Us. I watched the first episode and I never got around to watching the rest. But then again, it's pretty much it's the first game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I know what happens. It's not like it'll be spoiled for me because I know what happens.
Funny enough, that's another one I didn't stick with. So maybe it's just I don't like games being turned into movies.
Well, maybe you're a dad. You're a dad to 3, so it's understandable to not have time as well. I'm quite like that because I don't like watching random episodes of things, unless I watch them from the start, and then if I haven't seen them for a long time, I forget what's happened. So right now, if I go back to The Last of Us, I will have to start and watch episode 1 again. Even though I know what's happened because I've played the game and I've already watched that, I will still watch episode 1 again. And unless I watch them all within sort of each episode within a week of the previous one, I'm fine. But if I leave it a couple of months, I'll be like, I can't remember what happened. I'll just forget it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But I did do that with Fallout. I did watch every single hour. I waited. Actually, no, they released all the episodes, didn't they, for that? What was it I was waiting? Oh, Only Murders in the Building. I did watch that one. They brought out an episode a week.
I think the only one I'm doing it with now is Below Decks, which is the Star Trek cartoon.
Yes. Yeah. I've seen a few episodes of that.
It's very funny.
That was on? It was on Prime, wasn't it? But then they moved it to Paramount, or was it still on Prime?
It's on both.
The UK. Oh, it's on both. Okay,
I may be wrong, but
well, that's Paramount. I think in America that they pretty quickly moved everything over to Paramount, all the Star Trek stuff. But I think there's a couple of Star Trek things that are still on other services over here. But
I think they're finding it's not paying off. So,
well, do you know anybody that's got Paramount Plus?
No,
not me. And that's anecdotally what it's like. But everyone's like, "Yeah, I've got Netflix, or I've got Prime, or I've got the BBC, the TV license, or I've got Disney Plus. I don't want another one." And your stuff isn't that great.
Well, that's why Hulu's now coming under the Disney Plus banner, and that's going in there soon.
Well, in America, you have Hulu and you have Disney Plus, whereas in the UK we have Star, which is basically the Hulu stuff.
Yeah.
So we only have the one, although they put their prices up now. Their premium offering is now £13, I believe.
Yeah.
Although if you're with O2, you can get £2 a month off.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah. Oh, I get Disney Plus mostly because for the kids and.
Yeah. The only thing I don't think is worth it is Prime.
Prime, yeah, we shop from Amazon a lot. I've literally today I've been wrapping presents, getting presents ready to wrap
We always get it around November time and then cancel it for January.
There was probably about 25 boxes and envelopes today that I've opened from Amazon.
I hope you
so the Prime Video is just an added bonus. We pay annually as well, so it's a bit cheaper. All right, right. So we've done the Game Awards. I think well done, Astrobot. I think deserved winner. I don't think I would have been upset really with any of the top ones that were there. Yeah, your Refantazio, Black Myth Wukong. But yeah, I think Astrobot deserves it.
Well deserved, definitely. Yeah.
So right, I've been playing since it came out this week. Indiana Jones.
Isn't it great?
No, it's I'll say if you've played it, yes.
I had a bit of a go. Yeah,
excellent.
Because
it came out and it was it was getting really good reviews. Like generally, they were sort of 9 out of 10s, 5 out of 5s kind of thing. There was a couple that were like, this doesn't have much atmosphere kind of thing, but generally, I think probably 90% of them were 4.5, 5 out of 5 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that probably anybody that's asked on Gaming Dads, I've said, this is not an Uncharted game. It is not a Tomb Raider game. Now, I was struggling to think of what it was like, but then one of the admins actually spoke to me and said, oh, somebody compared it to Thief. And that is the best comparison I can compare it to, is Thief. If you've ever played any of the Thief games, which are first-person stealth games. And that's what it is. It's a first-person stealth puzzler with a guy who's meant to be, I think, in his late 40s, maybe, or something like that. So he doesn't run fast. He doesn't climb fast. The fighting, the hand-to-hand fighting, it's okay, but it just works. I don't know. It alongside the nostalgia, it just the puzzles are quite interesting. The tombs or the secrets that you discover are quite good at sort of teasing you with how to solve them. I have had to use a guide for a couple of them, to be honest. Not the tomb kind of things, but more the safe codes. The safe codes, and some of them I'm like, oh god, it wants me to go all the way over there and find another piece of paper. Hang on, 3298. Excellent, 3298. Brilliant. There you go. But yeah, it just works, and I'm really enjoying it. I still haven't finished it. I am in technically the third main area, because you start off in the college that he works in, but that's not really a full place, like a full map. But then you go to the Vatican, you go to Egypt, in Giza.
The Egypt bit was so impressive.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. Then after that, you go to, I think it's in Thailand, Sukhothai.
Yeah.
And the traversal around that is a bit, because you have to go around on a boat between different islands and rivers and such like. So it's, I could take or leave the Sukhothai, but the Sukhothai puzzle places, like the temples that you go into and do puzzles, are amazing, absolutely brilliant. They I can swing. I can use my whip and swing over there. Oh, but then I can't reach anywhere. Oh, look, there's somewhere that I can burn here, so I can burn this off, and then I can climb down there, and all this, and then it just works for me. I mean, you know me. I love a good story, and if it's Indiana Jones, it's just great. So it's a strong 9 because there are the things like the hand-to-hand combat isn't great. It's okay once you get used to it. It's basically you hold parry just as they and then you punch them a couple of times. You hold parry just as they punch them a couple of times. But first person, hand to hand, is never going to be great.
No.
Unless you do VR.
Not yet.
And the traversal, as I say, in Sukhothai is I don't particularly like going around on the boat. But other than that, it's great and highly recommend it for if you've got Game Pass, definitely play it. And if you want to buy it, just
Is it coming to PS5? I can't remember.
It is coming to PS5 in spring. So apparently they've said in the last week that it was just to get it ready. So they would have, if they'd been given more of an advance, they would have released it at the same time. It wasn't if you got Xbox, it was literally they just went. Well, I think they turned around one day and went, "Yeah, we want on PS5," and they went, "Oh, all right." I guess we'll get on that then.
I think we're going to get some enhancements and updates, maybe that the Xbox doesn't have.
Well, on PS5 Pro, maybe. Although it's got some really demanding specs on PC, but also there's some optimizations still to happen. So apparently there's been better performance on a RTX 3060 than it was on an RTX 4060, which is obviously a newer card.
Is it down to the development phase though?
So it just means that they've got to optimize some drivers somewhere or something. And also, it's the first game that I can think of where ray tracing is required. It's a requirement in the PC specifications. Now, it's personally, I mean, obviously, something like Senua's Saga, it's a very slow-based game, and it hasn't got action similar to Indiana Jones. It's very much one-on-one action that's almost rock paper scissors kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's. I'm playing on Series X. It's a very good looking game, and the world looks very good. But something like Infinite Wealth, like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, the people looked great, and the world looked rubbish. Now, Indiana Jones does look like all the people look like their actor's self, but the animations aren't the best. But the worlds do look great.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit perplexed as to why it requires the ray tracing on PC and why it needs such high specifications. Because at the end of the day, people on PC will say modern PCs are more powerful than the Xbox Series X.
That's true.
So why? But
I think it's a good thing because I think ray tracing should come as a mandatory setting because you're never going to. PC gaming is stagnating right now. So we're never going to get a thing where things move forward unless the developers insist on certain features.
Well, you can also, there is a path tracing upgrade come out as well. So ray tracing is the lighting upgrade. Path tracing is like ray tracing on steroids.
Yeah.
And there is a path tracing one now. A friend of mine posted a video of him demonstrating it. He has an RTX 4080 Super, and it was pretty good looking. I mean, he literally just stood by a window and looked at things and looked at reflections in the mirror, in a glass, and it was like, whoa, that is pretty awesome. I did then look at it on the Xbox and was like, yeah, no, it doesn't look like that. But no, fantastic game, highly recommended. I think I'm on about 25-30 hours already, and maybe near the end. I would guess I've still got another 10 hours to go because I'm collecting a lot of the stuff as well. You could probably, if you rushed through the story, you could probably, I would guess, probably 10 to 12 hours.
But there's the fun in rushing, though.
Yeah, exactly. And it has got lots of things to collect. And it doesn't show you them on the map, but there are leaflets that you can buy that show you where things are.
Mm.
So, yeah, it all swings around about whether you can afford those things. And generally, you try and pick these things up when you find them. And there's a lot to read as well. But it's Indiana Jones. At the end of the day, you don't have to read it all. Who wants to read when you've got a whip?
Exactly.
So, you have been playing. What was it?
I managed to get a preview of Alien Incursion for the Rogue Incursion, sorry, for the MetaQuest.
Okay.
And
Is this like a Alien Isolation type thing?
Yeah, it's like a sequel, I think, of Isolation.
There is an Alien Isolation sequel coming out.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I know, I'd say it is, but it's a VR version. But managed to get access to it, an access code. What can I say? It's definitely not for people with disabilities, so don't bother.
It doesn't have. So, is this on? You're playing on the 3?
I'm playing on the 3, yeah, and you definitely need 2 hands, and you definitely need to be fit, and you definitely need to be a non-jumpy person.
Oh God!
So it's
you. Are you trying? Are you trying to say something to me here? Because everything you were saying was like, okay.
It's definitely not something you need to be playing without wearing some diapers. So yeah, essentially you're climbing ladders. You have to inject yourself with this thing, and you have to get the needle to come out, and you kind of shake your arm to get the needle to come out, and you inject yourself in the arm, and then you have to reach behind you to pull out your gun, and you got your handgun as well. Then you've got the tracker from the Alien movie where it's going. You can hear the aliens coming, but they don't appear straight away.
Oh,
there's lots of.
So you can just hear scuttling.
Yes. Apparently there's a nest somewhere, an alien nest, but I didn't find it.
Is it just hiding, or is there some kind of fighting, like
both
action?
Yeah, you're shooting. You imagine Aliens.
Okay, so it is hiding and action.
Yeah. Now I haven't quite figured out yet if the aliens can hear you like they can on Alien Isolation.
They can certainly hear me. God! What's it?
Exactly.
Over there.
But I definitely it felt like they could hear you.
Does it have the microphone stuff? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So on Alien Isolation, if you made a noise,
they would hear you, similar to A Quiet Place.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I couldn't work out whether it did or whether it didn't on this game, but it felt like it did.
Quest have built-in microphone.
They do, yeah. Very good ones actually. But yeah, what a game! I mean, honestly, I could have crapped my pants on several occasions. And it feels really claustrophobic when you've got this thing on your face. Like
your face. Could have, could have crapped your pants. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, great game. Definitely worth the purchase. It will be game of the year.
Graphics like
PS4 Pro.
Okay, no, nice.
Yeah, PS4 Pro, I'd say.
What's it called again?
Alien Incursion. What is it? Alien Rogue
Incursion. Okay.
Yeah, so definitely worth a purchase. I would say it's definitely up for Game of the Year next year, without a doubt.
VR game, yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I think it could even go as far as Game of the Year, full stop. It is that good.
No.
So, but you do need to have 2 hands.
Great. And do you need to have, I presume it's on 3 only, not the 2.
It's not on the 2, no. It is strictly.
I'm just looking at the graphics of it, and someone's like shooting and just the xenomorphs just like la la la. I'm just going to carry on walking at you, la la la. Yep. Oh no, they're jumping side to side. Oh god. Oh, oy. Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, in VR, it's something that in an action game, I'd be like, yeah, I don't really care about that. But in VR, I would be going. Ah!
mm. So I assume at some stage you'll be coming around to play it. I'm going to keep you away from your TV, but yeah, I'm really, really good. I'd like to play it on the PlayStation VR 2 because I think
Yeah,
graphics
it's
would
got
be
great
far
screens and
superior.
whatnot, hasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know what else to say except for spend the 35 quid. It's worth it.
I
Probably
think from what you
the best.
said, this is what is becoming more as the Quest 2, the Quest 3 become more popular. The full price. We say full price. They're still half the price of games on the Xbox and PlayStation.
True.
Full price game, but it's going to become more the norm. But not taken away that there will still be the games that are £2, £5, £10,
Yeah.
£12. Like $5, $10, $12.
Interestingly,
But there will be more of these that are £30, £40,
yeah,
£50.
and worth it. So I've also heard a rumor that there's a new Star Wars game coming to MetaQuest, and it's yet to be announced. But it's very much in the ideas of Force Awakens, so that'll be interesting. But also, I've heard that PlayStation are going to make it mandatory that all games have the ability to switch on a VR mode to help support for the VR2. So, how true that is, I don't know. But from
I think it would have to be certain types of game, wouldn't it? But that because what they need to, something like, let's say, Overcooked. It's pointless being in VR mode unless you have it a big screen.
Yeah.
So having it a big screen, yes. But I think I don't know if you can do that anyway. But
you can, yeah.
Oh, there you go. So you can do that anyway with any game. But having a first-person VR mode, the problem there is a mod available on PC that will turn pretty much any first-person game.
That's right.
Into a VR game. Now, that's all it needs. But at the same time, that is a developer who has spent probably hundreds, if not thousands, of hours making that work. And making it work pretty much across the board. And I think whenever a new game's come out, makes it so that you can play any game, or near enough any game. But it's Sony, they're not exactly poor.
No, they're all incentivized.
They're not Microsoft rich, but they're not the poor little guy. So just do it. You do it. Have it at a PlayStation side and go, here you go. It's a control scheme because all it is a control scheme, really. You have head goes up and I look up, and you should be able to. Thing is, you have to get the speeds right, because if you don't get the speeds right, people are going to be thrown up within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So it is getting it right, but I think so. Yeah, I think so. You should be able to do that.
I think when the PlayStation VR 2 comes down to about £200, £250, then it will start to sell more. And I think
they said when they reduced it to 300, was it £350?
Yeah.
They announced that sales had gone up by 2,000%. Like, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, can't price something the same as a PlayStation 5, and but then apparently also there's this other thing. They're saying that the wireless version of it is coming. So who knows?
Oh, that is another point as well. Yeah, I mean, who wants wireless when you can sit with a Quest 2 or 3 and play? Yes, okay, graphically lower games and with a couple of bits of tech that aren't in it, but without wires, and sit there and play for an hour and a half or whatever if you can stomach it. Or you can have wires and play a PlayStation game or something. It's like, no, yeah. If they bring out a wireless one, but then I think if I bought a PS5 and PSVR 2 at launch, kind of thing, I'd be quite annoyed that I could get a PS5 Pro and a PSVR 2 for the same price.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with
That's
tech,
life.
isn't it?
That's gaming.
That's the problem with tech. I paid £420, I think, for my Steam Deck, and now for that same price, I can get a pre-owned. Oh, cheaper than that, I can get a pre-owned 512 gig OLED.
Well, also apparently Lenovo are going to be releasing a new handheld that's got a
Was it
Steam
Steam
button on it.
OS? Yeah. Steam OS has been. It's been like all the labeling and the logos and things have been found in Steam, and it's coming. There's going to be Steam OS handhelds left, right, and centre.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, and this is what they wanted to do with Steam machines. Problem is that they didn't release one that was brilliant either. And this is what they've done. First, they've released something that is being absolutely brilliant, and is still, even though there's more powerful things released, is still recommended by a lot of people. In certain situations it's not the best. If you play COD or if you play a lot of online games, Steam Deck's going to be useless for you. But generally, I can play Cyberpunk on it. Why wouldn't I recommend that?
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. Right, so I think we've exhausted today, because this is the last episode before Christmas. So I think we will be having this episode obviously, as you know, Tom, is out on the 16th. So the next episode that is coming out, we will be before Christmas.
That's right.
And I'm sure that we will probably wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Absolutely.
If we hadn't already recorded it. So anyway, but still, Merry Christmas, Tom.
Merry Christmas, mate.
And I hope you're all organised. As a parent, you have to be a little bit organised, don't you?
We are organised, finished, and raring for it to be over.
No going to the Tesco's Express on Christmas Eve.
I'd rather go to the food bank.
When you got Christmas the next day. Right, so www.focusongaming.co.uk. I don't know why I said www. I'm old. We still say www when we're old. Just focusongaming.co.uk. Like, subscribe, all that bump, and leave a review. And if you've got any questions or anything, let us know probably on our Facebook group. And have a really good Christmas and enjoy the Christmas and New Year episodes.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.